Welcome back to the All Things Ag Gal podcast. I'm your host, Addison Stoddard. Join me as I learn from the women who cultivate, grow, and thrive in agriculture. Hey, y'all. It's Addison. Welcome back to the All Things Ag Gal podcast. I'm so excited that you're here, and I am so excited to talk with you today, kind of talk about having a cowgirl summer. Now, I know that putting that out there, saying we're going to have a cowgirl summer, you might have a million and one ideas of what I'm going to talk about today, and it's kind of all over the place. First things first, if you are watching on YouTube, hey, you like my pink funky shirt? I'm wearing a very bright shirt, but I thought it was kind of fun and summery, and we are talking about summer. It is the middle of July. I don't know how. Like, how is it the middle of July? And I feel like, you know, whether you're in school, working, whatever it may be, summer is just such a fun time. Like, yes, I work a 9-to-5 job. Well, it's not 9 to 5, but I do work a job. And while I'm like, oh, I wish that I had summer vacation sometimes, I do love summer still. Like, I love the warm weather. I love the activities I get to do. Like, there's just so many good things about summer, whether you're in school or not. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about having a cowgirl summer. Now, the place that like this idea came from, and I feel silly saying this because I think one of my like quoted phrase, or like one of my main phrases that I say, and me and all my friends in college would joke about it, is that I always like to be like, and in this video I learned, but it's true. In a TikTok, I learned what I'm about to tell you about. I have to shout out the creator. I believe her name is Margot. I follow her on TikTok. She's so fun. I'll tag her down below wherever you're watching. And I'll make sure that she knows that I talk about this because I loved this video that she made about how like cowgirls and cowboys, that like title is almost, I don't know, I'm not going to explain it as good as she did, but it's almost used as like an adjective now. Like, we all know that being a cowgirl is very much a real job, right? Being in like the Western ranching world is freaking hard work. But try to think of another job that is used like to describe somebody the way cowboys and cowgirls are. Like, somebody could tell you, oh, I want to be a cowgirl, and you could take it as, I want to be a cowgirl and like go and work on a ranch. Or you could take it as, I want to be a cowgirl and wear boots to my corporate office. Like, I want to have the cowgirl vibe. And so I just thought that was so funny because I totally agree. Like, cowgirl and cowboy have been so like marketed on. And I don't think that it's a bad thing. Like, I think that especially in the agriculture industry, any sort of element that we can use to connect people to agriculture, I think is so cool. Like, yeah, there are some people that would never ever in real life be a cowgirl, and they dress up like cowgirls. And you can choose to be like, well, they're misrepresenting the industry, or they're No, like, I think it's people's connection and the way that they understand agriculture. So first I want to talk about us as cowgirls, farmers, agriculturalists. You know, we are truly living that world, right? We're working in the field. We're working on hot days. We're learning. I kind of was talking about, research and where we get our information from. Like, my job lately has been heavily trying to understand the markets. Holy cow. Like, that is some serious brain work. The markets are very like, it's like its own language. And I'm like, I should have paid attention in economics when I was in college. But there's so much that goes into being a part of this industry. So many things that people are learning. And I think that it's good to remember and like reminisce on the fun parts of being in the agriculture world, being a cowgirl. So today I am going to talk a little bit on capitalizing on the things that are this trendy like cowgirl world. There's so many things happening out there. There's so many fun activities that you can do, especially in summertime, to capitalize on being a cowgirl. And I just want to recenter us, help you remember that this is our cowgirl summer. These are the things that you can do. These are the things that can help you romanticize your cowgirl summer. So I do have a list, of course. So the first one, and okay, the reason I wrote this down, this was literally the first thing that came to my mind, was horseback riding. I have a confession. I have never in like my adult life rode a horse. Like, that needs to be fixed. Somebody hit me up. Somebody slide into my DMs. help me figure out that situation. But I think horseback riding is such like a cool experience. Like, obviously I'm talking as somebody that's never done it before, but what a cool way to connect you to like the agriculture cowgirl lifestyle. So there's a couple ways you can go about this. First, if you are like somebody that is familiar with horseback riding, maybe let's say that you do have like horses to ride, you can totally tap into that. Don't only use your animals for work or whatever. If you have a day off, if your animal's in a good place, go for a little joyride. Go for a moment that isn't work. I think taking advantage of those opportunities and just really enjoying those moments like is such a good way to capitalize on enjoying the agricultural lifestyle and kind of brought back and remembering what the important things are. The next one is country music concert. Obviously, I think one thing that I have to say is that honestly, in this like podcast, I always want to focus on, when it comes to being in agriculture, you don't have to fit like a certain profile. You don't have to like country music to be in agriculture. You don't have to wear certain clothes. You don't have to like certain things. Like that's obviously not the point. However, I do think that country music concerts or just like summer concerts in general are so fun. I wanted to bring this up because I actually helped put on a concert for our radio station. I talked a little bit about it in my last episode, but that was kind of fun because our opener was like a younger country star. His dad, very well-known classic country singer. And then our main guy, Colin Ray, very well-known classic country singer. And it was just like a good reminder. Like he sang some of his main hits, like his main songs. And I don't know, there is just something that like kind of connects us all about country music, especially like romantic country music. I just think it's so like fun. So if you have any concerts near you, now this is the other thing is, as somebody that has paid a lot of money for concert tickets, I'm going to, again, not all country music, I'm going to Harry Styles later this year. I paid a ton of money for those tickets, and that didn't include like what I'm going to pay to fly there and like all that stuff. So just a reminder, like you don't have to pay a lot of money to go to good country concerts. Like if it's getting together with a group of friends and like singing country music, or if it's a small town like country music festival or like whatever it may be, there's so many opportunities in rural America to listen to good outdoor music. And I think that that is such like a fun opportunity to have kind of a cowgirl summer. Next, this is a personal favorite, sitting in a field watching a sunset. I think that is like self-explanatory enough. First off, I think that like agriculture, whether you're like, for example, like I live in the plains, and so I'm just surrounded by like fields. If you're in the mountains, if you're, cowgirl ranching area, like any of that land is so beautiful at sunset. Like it just really capitalizes on the beauty of being out in literally wide open spaces. Shout out the chicks. But like, I just really like value that. And so for me, I have a camp chair that lives in my car. I take my camp chair out and like drive out to the middle of nowhere, sit there and enjoy the sunset. What a good way to like just romanticize an evening in your life and make it very centered on like having a cowgirl summer and like being connected to nature. The next thing I want to talk about is going to the county fair. Now, if you grew up in like 4-H or FFA in the livestock world at all, that side of things, you're going to be like, okay, like I already did that. I served my time, like whatever. Going to the county fair is such a fun thing as an adult. It definitely makes me like reminisce. I go a lot for my job. It makes me reminisce and like really appreciate like the values and the lessons that I learned as a 4-H student. Also, if you're like in certain areas, there's all sorts of fun like cowgirl, cowboy events that are happening within a county fair. There's food and rides, and people are all getting together in small communities, and I think it's so fun. So if you're not familiar with like a county fair, if it's something that if you weren't in the livestock world or didn't participate in 4-H and like you just want to check it out, like get a friend or two, go and check it out. Like even just watch one round of a show, and it's just kind of fun to watch these kids that have put so much time and effort into it. I also think that like learning about different parts of agriculture, obviously I wouldn't say that like livestock showing, like that livestock world is super like closely connected to being like a rancher or cowgirl, but it's all the same industry, right? We're raising livestock, caring for livestock. And having that appreciation for like what kids are doing to raise and show livestock, I think is so cool. All right. Speaking of livestock, this is the true cowgirl summer mode. Go to a rodeo. It does not matter like how big or how small the rodeo is. It doesn't matter if you're going to like a professional rodeo to your small community rodeo. Like literally nothing is as fun. I remember the first rodeo I ever went to, I was pretty young, and I just remember like being captivated. Rodeos have a really good like system, program. Like I don't know, there's just like this feeling of like community that they create. They know what they're doing. Go enjoy. I also think that like this one I wanted to get to, and then like country music concert. It's just such a fun way too to like get dressed up, like put your boots on, put your jeans on, and like go and enjoy. Maybe throw on a cowgirl hat. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Go enjoy a rodeo. My personal favorites with rodeo, I don't like bull riding. Actually, I know a lot of people like bull riding. I knew a kid so random from high school that like a bull like stepped on his face after he fell off. I mean, I guess the goal is to not fall off, but he like fell off, bull stepped on his face, and like he literally looks completely different than when he did in high school. Tragic. So not necessarily a big fan of that. I do think that like any of the barrel racing or roping competitions are fun to watch. I just think they're so cool. So, and obviously like I kind of just dissed on bull riding. It is still so cool, and it's so exciting at the end of the night, like if they stay on, right? The next one and the last one, this is a shorter episode today. Go to a campfire. Something that I like to think about a lot, especially, you know, my grandpa was very cowboyish, had done a lot of like cowboy work, riding horses, taking care of animals, and a good amount of like my ancestors, my grandparents, like whatnot. And I always just remember like thinking how cool it is to like think about, you know, like Little House on the Prairie, or, you know, these guys that were like truly cowboying, and, you know, they're around a campfire at night. And I'm sure it wasn't all hunky dory holding hands, like singing songs around the campfire, but it's just like a good reminder of like what the cowboy cowgirl life used to be. Get a group of friends together, go have a fire, like chat, like talk, hang out with each other. Like there is literally nothing better than like throwing on a sweatshirt on a summer night when it's dark and having a campfire with your friends. So those are the things that I would recommend to like have a really good cowgirl summer. Now, something about agriculture is that there is so much grit and grind in agriculture. We're always working. There's always things going on. It is truly a 24/7 job, no matter what part of the industry you're in. It's busy. Like there's things happening. And I want you to romanticize it. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to have a good experience and like really make it something this summer. Make it something that you're going to remember forever. It's okay to kind of set down the grit and grind. Obviously still work hard, but also take a step back and enjoy those moments that are going to be impactful for you. So with that being said, like I said, a little bit shorter of an episode today. I just wanted to touch base with you guys. We got some good guests coming up here in the next couple of weeks, so make sure to stay tuned. As always, you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook, all things AgGal, to stay up to date with who is going to be on the show. You can follow along on YouTube as well and watch videos if you want to watch the podcast rather than just listen to it. I'm so grateful for your guys' support. It's been fun to get comments and see who's watching. So make sure to subscribe and follow along. I've got some good things coming your way. Anyway, love you guys so much. Enjoy your cowgirl summer, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.